Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how we can use ChatGPT to help us become better writers and not only write for us. And the reason this is important, guys, is because the internet is full of text. Everybody writes all the time. If you go on Twitter, what are people doing? They are just tweeting away, tweeting their thoughts. They're trying to get your attention. You go on LinkedIn, what are they doing? Same thing. And I know there's also video. Yes, that is very important. That's also a part of the reason why I make videos, is because videos are important. But text is still the universal language that we use to communicate. To communicate well, we need to learn to have coherent thoughts, and writing helps you clarify those thoughts. And once you become a good writer and convey competence, that competence will gain trust and authority from people that start to follow you. And so if you're a creator or an entrepreneur and you're trying to start your own business, or you're just trying to start with a community and an audience, it's going to be very important that you know how to write well, because writing well means that you know how to communicate well. Personally, for me, I want to be one of those top 1% communicators on the internet. I think that is a superpower that most people don't necessarily have. The ones that are lucky enough to have it naturally are insane. And so I also want to give a quote from Jordan Peterson that I found very powerful as well. If you can think and speak and write, you are absolutely deadly. Writing is thinking formalized. You gain the ability to think by first learning to write very, very carefully. Then, when you write effectively, you can do anything you want and no one will stop you. And so I like that quote a lot, because to me, I take it as, if I learn to formalize my thoughts, I can move mountains and persuade people to see my point of view and actually move them to do some sort of action in the real world just through my writing and through my other communications as well. And so the last thing I want to stress is that we don't want to just use AI to write for us, because that takes away from the process of writing itself, which I think is very, very valuable and is going to be even more valuable as more and more people do not do it. Because writing requires focus and reflection, and that is something that anecdotally I've seen less of in generations that are currently using a lot of social media, distracting themselves, and not actually sitting with their own thoughts and sitting with their own perspectives and learning to formalize that and put that into the written word. And to add on to that point about AI not writing for us, it also is the case that we should learn to write, because content generally, I think, starts better if you start it in the long form written word, because that means that you genuinely thought about it in a very methodical way. You reflected on that idea a lot, and it's much easier to break that up into, shallower, or let's say like more surface level content, because it starts from a deeper place. Whereas if you start from the opposite, where a lot of it is surface level and you try to think of something deeper to put in, it's a bit more difficult to do. So let's think of this video as teaching you to have ChatGPT be your 24/7 writing tutor to help you expedite the process of becoming a better writer. So let's talk about the first main concept of improving our writing style with ChatGPT. There are a couple ways that I can do this, and they kind of boil down to teaching me to write a certain style, critiquing my current writing style, and critiquing my contents of writing, like the persuasion of the writing, the coherence of the writing. Is it actually a strong argument? Does it actually make sense? Is there substance in the article itself? So for this, let me talk about first how I use ChatGPT to help me emulate writing styles that I admire. So it's pretty straightforward. I will take a piece of content that I've already written, so something that's already done, because this is more for me to retrospectively or retroactively look at my content and see how it could have been put into a different style. So again, I will take a piece of content that I have, I will feed it to ChatGPT, as context, so it knows that this is my content. Then I will go find a writer whose style I admire online, find one of their pieces of content, see which one that really gives their style a lot. Maybe that it's an exaggerated one where it's really in their style. And I will give that to ChatGPT and I will ask it, how can I use this writing style to convey my thoughts that I previously gave you? And so what it does for me is it will rewrite the contents of what I had already written in the style that I wanted to emulate. And so I've used this to generate copies of my thoughts in styles that I would want to write in, so that I can practice rewriting those literally word for word till I kind of get the muscle memory and the intuition for that writing style, and I start to have it be a second nature for me. The second way I use ChatGPT to help me emulate writing styles is to tell it to embody the writer that I'm trying to emulate. And so for this, you probably need more of a well-known writer. Maybe it's Hemingway. Maybe it's one of the top writers on Twitter, because I'm sure they're probably well indexed from ChatGPT, so it probably knows enough about that person. And what you will do is you will say, embody the role of this person. Here is my content. Could you please critique this and be as objective and candid as possible? And also, if you really want to, you can also say, give me a grading score of 0 to 10 on these specific subject areas, or these certain areas that I want to focus on, like coherence, persuasion, etc. And so what I'll do is I will say, okay, here's my first draft, see its results, and say, okay, these are the things I need to work on. I will step away and say, okay, let's work on this. Start typing away, bring it back to ChatGPT. Hey, let's check it again. So basically, I'm iterating with ChatGPT on critiquing my content, but it's just a faster process because it just analyzes it so much quicker than a person would. And so that's pretty much it for how I use it to improve my style of writing. And so I'm not going to go over prompting as much in this video, just to kind of keep this high level and talk about the concepts themselves, but I will leave resources in the description that I found helpful for prompting with ChatGPT. Now let's move on to the other way that I'm using ChatGPT to help me improve my writing style, and that is formatting. So its readability, is it pleasing to the eye online when people are looking at it? Will it stop them from scrolling? And a way I've found to be very interesting and somewhat effective is I will take a screenshot of a high performing post on a particular platform such as Twitter or X, and I will feed it to ChatGPT so it can see the actual format, the format of the post. And then I will tell it to ignore the contents of the post but only look at that formatting. Then I will feed it my tweet or whatever writing that you're doing, and I will ask it to use unique characters or unique kind of delimiters such as brackets, new line, for example, to denote where a new line should be, and bracket list for when there should be a list of things. And what it will do is it will just type out a new form of your post with those unique characters, and then all you have to do is find those and format it yourself. And the reason I'm telling you to do that is because the GUI of ChatGPT does not allow for that kind of rich formatting yet, at least not to my knowledge. And because we have GPT Vision now, it's actually a bit simpler to show ChatGPT what format you're trying to emulate. And so I found this to be very helpful. It's still pretty early on in my experimentation with this specific concept, but I do believe that it could be useful for people that are just trying to learn better formatting styles. And so that's pretty much it, guys. I wanted to just give you some tips on how we can use ChatGPT to help us improve our writing, because it is going to be important to become a better writer. And again, you want to write the final draft, put your own spin on it, really take the time to reflect and formalize your thoughts for yourself, because regardless of whether it's good or not, it's the process that is going to be important for you as a human being that is trying to have a voice on the internet. Because when push comes to shove, you want to know that you know how to communicate well. AI is only here to help us iterate faster with this process, to expedite the process, as I said. And once you've been doing this for a bit, you will start to see the patterns yourself and actually start to become kind of the expert and can guide ChatGPT even better than you did previously. It's kind of like if a person that doesn't know how to code is asking ChatGPT to code versus a software engineer who's been coding for 10 years may have a little bit more insight into how to eke out the best from the model. That's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. You can subscribe if you're not subscribed already. You can join my Discord. And until next time, much love and peace, y'all.